In the early 1200s, the most powerful cities on earth fall not to kings or empires, but to the sound of hooves on the horizon. To understand the devastation that followed, we must first understand the height from which humanity fell. At the dawn of the 13th century, Eurasia stands at a peak of interconnected prosperity. From the Yellow Sea to the Mediterranean, trade routes pulse with life. Silk, spices, silver, and ideas flow along roads and rivers refined over centuries. Cities rise as monuments to human confidence. In 1200, the world's population approaches 360 million people. China alone holds more than 110 million. Baghdad, jewel of the Islamic world, is home to perhaps 1 million souls, its libraries unmatched anywhere on earth. In Central Asia, cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, and Urgench thrive as commercial hubs linking east and west. Europe, though more fragmented, is growing. Paris, Venice, and Constantinople bustle with merchants and pilgrims. Cathedrals rise stone by stone, fields are cleared, populations expand. This is a world that believes deeply in progress. Empires dominate the political map. The Song dynasty rules southern China with bureaucracy and paper money. The Khwarezmian Empire stretches from Persia to the Aral Sea, wealthy and confident. The Abbasid Caliphate, though weakened, still commands religious authority. Power is centralized, armies are professional, walls are thick. And beyond these walls, beyond the cities and farmlands, lies the steppe, an ocean of grass stretching thousands of kilometers. Windswept, treeless, harsh. For centuries, settled civilizations look at the steppe with a mixture of fear and disdain. Its inhabitants are nomads, pastoralists, illiterate, many say, poor, disorganized. They are wrong. Because on the steppe, a storm is gathering, and it is about to break the world. The origin of the apocalypse begins not in a palace or a city, but in a family torn apart by violence. Around 1162, a boy is born near the Onon River in what is now Mongolia. His name is Temujin. His father, a minor clan leader, is poisoned by rivals when Temujin is still a child. Overnight, his family is abandoned by their own people. They are left to starve on the open steppe. Temujin learns hunger early. He learns betrayal. He learns that survival depends on loyalty and ruthlessness. This matters. Because the Mongol world is not governed by borders or crowns, it is governed by strength, alliances, and memory. Feuds last generations. Violence is personal. By his 20s, Temujin begins to rise. He forges alliances not through noble blood, but through merit. He rewards loyalty, he punishes betrayal without mercy. Step by step, he unites the fractured Mongol tribes. In 1206, at a great tribal assembly known as a Kurultai, Temujin is proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler. It is a turning point in world history. Genghis Khan does something revolutionary. He transforms nomadic warfare into a disciplined, centralized system. His army is organized into units of tens, hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands. Commanders are promoted for ability, not lineage. Orders are absolute. The Mongol army becomes a machine. Their weapons are simple but devastating. Composite bows capable of killing at 200 meters, fired accurately from horseback at full gallop. Each warrior carries multiple horses, allowing armies to move up to 100 kilometers a day. Speed becomes strategy. But conquest does not begin with ambition alone. Legend has it that Genghis Khan initially seeks trade, not war, with the wealthy Khwarezmian Empire. In 1218, he sends a caravan of merchants westward. They are arrested and executed by a local governor. Genghis demands justice. His envoys are humiliated. One is beheaded. This is not merely an insult. In steppe culture, it is an unforgivable crime. According to a contemporary Persian chronicler, Genghis Khan turns to the sky and prays, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. The invasion begins. In 1219, Mongol armies surge west into Central Asia. The first major target is Otrar, a fortified city of the Khwarezmian Empire. Its walls are strong, its garrison confident. The siege lasts 5 months. Then the gates fall. What follows is systematic terror. Soldiers are slaughtered, civilians are executed or enslaved. The governor is reportedly executed by having molten silver poured into his eyes and ears. This was the message. City after city faces the same choice: surrender and live, or resist and die. Bukhara, one of Islam's holiest cities, falls in 1220. Genghis Khan rides into the main mosque and addresses the terrified population. "I am the punishment of God," he says again. "If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." The city is looted. Fires rage. Thousands are killed. Then comes Samarkand. Protected by walls and war elephants, Samarkand believes itself invincible. Mongol engineers build siege engines learned from Chinese captives. Arrows rain from the sky. After days of fighting, the city collapses. By the time the Mongols move on, Central Asia is shattered. News travels faster than armies. Refugees flood west and south. Stories grow darker with each retelling. Entire cities erased. Fields turned to ash. Rivers choked with bodies. Was this the end of the world? In 1221, Mongol forces reach Persia. Cities like Nishapur resist. It is a fatal mistake. After a Mongol prince is killed during the siege, the response is absolute. According to the historian Atamalik Juvayni, the dead are piled into pyramids made of skulls. Men, women, children, even animals are slaughtered. This is not random violence. It is calculated. The Mongols understand psychology. Terror is cheaper than prolonged war. A city that hears what happened to Nishapur is far more likely to surrender. This vast network, the medieval World Wide Web, carries fear across continents. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, the invasion does not stop. Under his grandsons, the Mongol Empire expands further than any empire in history. In the 1230s, armies push into Russia. Cities like Ryazan, Vladimir, and Kiev are destroyed. Kiev, once home to 50,000 people, is reduced to a shadow. Chroniclers report only 200 houses left standing. In 1241, Mongol forces enter Central Europe. At the Battle of Legnica, Polish and German knights charge with heavy armor and banners flying. They are annihilated by feigned retreats and arrow storms. Days later, at the Battle of Mohi, the Hungarian army is crushed. King Bela IV flees. Hungary burns. Europe panics. Monasteries record omens. Popes call for prayer. No one knows how to stop this enemy. Then, suddenly, the Mongols withdraw. A great Khan has died. Commanders return east for the succession. Europe survives by chance. While Europe breathes, the East does not. In 1258, Mongol armies under Hulagu Khan reach Baghdad. Baghdad is not just a city. It is a symbol, the heart of Islamic learning, the house of wisdom. Libraries holding centuries of knowledge. The siege lasts less than 2 weeks. Then the city falls. What follows is one of the darkest episodes in human history. Contemporary accounts describe streets running black with ink from destroyed books, red with blood from slaughtered civilians. Estimates suggest hundreds of thousands die. The Abbasid Caliph is executed. An era ends. This was the Mongol Invasions. And once they began, there was no escape. It is a mistake to think of the Mongol invasions as purely a military phenomenon. They are a human catastrophe. Across Eurasia, between 1206 and 1300, historians estimate that 40 to 75 million people die as a direct or indirect result of Mongol conquest. Entire regions are depopulated. Farmland reverts to forest. Irrigation systems collapse. In northern China, census records show population drops of tens of millions. In Persia, Once fertile plains turn to desert. But statistics cannot capture suffering. Imagine a merchant in Samarkand, watching smoke rise from the horizon. Imagine a mother in Kiev, hiding her children in a cellar as the walls break. Imagine a scholar in Baghdad, seeing centuries of knowledge thrown into the Tigris. One Persian chronicler writes, "They spared none, not women, not children, not the unborn." Yet survival exists alongside horror. Some cities surrender and are spared. Skilled artisans are deported across the empire. Chinese engineers build siege engines in the Middle East. Persian administrators collect taxes in China. For those who live, life becomes uncertain but connected in new ways. The Pax Mongolica creates the safest trade routes in centuries. Marco Polo travels from Venice to Beijing. Fear and opportunity coexist. The Mongol invasions do not simply destroy societies, they reorder them. By 1300, the Mongol Empire fractures into rival khanates. The world they leave behind is transformed. Old powers are broken forever. The Khwarezmian Empire is gone. The Abbasid Caliphate never recovers. New states rise in the ruins. Muscovy, Ming China, the Ottoman frontier. Trade networks expand. Technologies spread. Gunpowder moves west. Paper money moves east. But the cost is permanent. Languages disappear. Cities are never rebuilt. Knowledge is lost. The 13th century becomes a scar across history, a reminder that civilization, however confident, is fragile. For centuries, the Mongol invasions were treated as a distant medieval nightmare, a story of horsemen and arrows. But pandemics, total war, psychological terror, and global interconnectedness shape our world today as well. Does that really sound like ancient history? Or does it feel uncomfortably familiar? The past is silent until we give it a voice, and in the thunder of Mongol hooves, we still hear a warning. History is never as far away as it seems.